Tonight I'm going to be cooking lemon rosemary chicken and potatoes in my Instant Pot. This is so that I can show my sister-in-law Brenda, who lives clear across the country, how to use her new Instant Pot. So that's why we're shooting this little video. This comes from a recipe book that I bought at the grocery store yesterday called Instant Pot Recipes, and it looks really fun and really good. So what I did when I came home from work today at lunchtime is I marinated some chicken in some lemon juice and some fresh rosemary and some garlic, and then I took half of the marinade and marinated the potatoes and onions in that. So I put them in two separate bags, and what I need to do first is open up my Instant Pot, make sure that my Instant Pot rubber ring is all attached correctly, everything's looking good. And what I'm going to do now is, the beautiful thing about the Instant Pot is it isn't just a pressure cooker. I can saute, I can keep things warm, and the first thing I'm going to do tonight is saute this chicken. So I take a little bit of vegetable oil, I'm using canola oil, and I will have the whole recipe listed below in the comments on this video. But just enough, about a tablespoon of vegetable oil, and I'm going to wait until the Instant Pot gets hot. Okay, now now that my oil is nice and hot, I'm using tongs so I don't have to don't burn myself. I'm putting this chicken into the oil. And I'm going to brown that so that it's nice and crispy. And I may have to do this in I may have to do the last two pieces after these pieces cook. So we're going to brown the chicken. It says here for about 8 minutes, so what I'll do is turn it after 4 minutes, and it'll be delicious. I'm going to flip this chicken. That's looking kind of nice. Good and juicy. I'm using chicken thighs. The recipe actually called for chicken breasts, but I love chicken thighs, and that's what I had in the freezer today. So when I put all my chicken pieces in, the marinade that the chicken was in, I don't want that anymore. So I'm going to set that aside. The marinade that the potatoes and the garlic is in, that's what I'm going to use to help cook the chicken in when it's cooking in the Instant Pot. Chicken is all beautiful and it's browned and everything, and I'm pulling the last of the chicken out of the saute pan, and I'm going to turn this off for a minute. And I'm noticing that there's a lot. The recipe calls for boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and actually calls for bone-in skinless chicken breasts, and I used bone-in chicken thighs with skin, so I have quite a bit more fat than I anticipated. So I'm just going to skim a little bit of that out of there. And careful not to touch the sides of the pot so that I don't have any swear words in my video when I burn myself. So anyway, that smells really good. And the next thing I'm going to do is put these potatoes and onions in that nice hot pot. And the marinade that's in these potatoes and onions is gonna help marinate everything that we've got going here. So I'm gonna carefully pick these out of here, and they're going right in there, and they're gonna get sauteed as well. So I'm hitting the saute button again, and we're gonna just cook these potatoes and onions for about 3 minutes before we put the chicken back in the pot. And the reason I'm using my tongs is so that I don't end up throwing all of my marinade in here quite yet. I've got a lot of marinade in this nice bag of potatoes and onions, and I don't want to throw it in there quite yet. It smells good. Smells like lemon and rosemary, which is really what I've got in this marinade. It's so delicious. And now we're good to go. And I think I'll just leave the rest of the marinade aside for when the potatoes get a little brown on them, get a nice little crust on them from frying a little bit in that hot pan, that hot sauté pan. It's going to be delicious. Potatoes, they cook for about 3 minutes in this sauté pan, and look at, they're getting all that good brown stuff off the bottom. This is a great way to get all that good tasty residue from that chicken. Okay, so the potatoes are looking beautiful. They're looking nicely browned with those onions in there. And what I'm going to do is put the chicken that I cooked in 2 batches right on top of the potatoes in the pan. Right on top. We'll just lay those on there. I have 6 chicken thighs that we're going to be having, and they're going to be beautiful. So what I'm going to add next is I've mixed up some broth. I didn't have chicken broth, so I'm using vegetable broth here, and I'm pouring in about 3/4 of a cup of liquid into the Instant Pot. And I'm also, just for good measure, I'm going to take a little bit of white wine because I love that. And we're just going to pour a little bit of that in there as well. Okay, so now the fun begins. The top of my Instant Pot is ready to go. And I'm going to seal this puppy up. And the most interesting thing about the Instant Pot is that when you turn it on, you don't really know that anything's happening. So I have my Instant Pot now lined up right here at the ceiling mark, right in the middle. And I'm going to turn it right now, as you can see, to manual. And what I need to do, a number goes on there, and I need to decide how many minutes I want to cook this. And I'm going to cook this for 9 minutes. So actually right now, you don't hit an on button. You don't do anything. It says manual 9 minutes. I'm done. Now it's on. And now the pressure's going to start to build. And it'll be a few minutes now before the Instant Pot timer comes on. I just need to relax and know that pretty soon I'm going to get, it'll say 9 minutes, and it'll start counting down until my chicken is done. Okay, so my timer's going. It just moved from the 9 to the 8. I have 8 more minutes until dinner is going to be ready. And this recipe calls for a natural, or for a quick release, so really this is going to be ready in 8 minutes, which is just fabulous. Now the Instant Pot is done with its 9 minutes, and what happens then is it goes into a timer that now it's going to keep going till it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And sometimes if you want to do a natural release, you just let that timer go for 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But we're going to do a quick release here today. Okay, now what I'm going to do is hit that release button. And now my kitchen is filled with this fabulous smell of lemon and rosemary and chicken. It smells so good in here because none of that fabulous aroma was getting out while this was cooking. And now my Instant Pot little valve has clicked down, and I can open this. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. All right. Okay, so now I'm going to take my beautiful chicken out of the pot and put it on this serving platter. Looks so good. Oh my goodness, it looks just, it's falling off the bone. It's so delicious. And that was only 10 minutes of cooking time, 9 minutes of cooking time. And then I have all of these potatoes that I'm going to put here too. They look beautiful and they're perfectly cooked. So my chicken and my potatoes are all out of the pot, but what I'm going to do now is hit Sauté and just cook up that sauce till it boils down just a little bit, so I can put some of that over on the chicken and potatoes. And look how beautiful that looks, the chicken and the potatoes. That looks so pretty. Yum, that sauce looks really good. We're gonna just boil that for a couple minutes and then pour it over the potatoes and the chicken. All right, I think my sauce is good. I'm turning it off and I'm just gonna scoop some of this out here and pour it over the chicken and the potatoes. It smells so good. Oh my gosh. And what I'm gonna do is take a few sprigs of fresh rosemary that I picked from my garden, which is the same rosemary that I put in the marinade, and I'm just gonna put that on there and we are ready for dinner. So I can't wait, and I hope that this has been instructive. And let me just say that I love my Instant Pot.